Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. Today we're gonna discuss Marquinhos' possible departure from Paris Saint-Germain. So as we know, recently the PSG players were interviewed on their preseason Japan tour, and this is what Marquinhos had to say when he was asked about Kylian Mbappé. Marquinhos on Kylian Mbappe's situation. It is a delicate question. He's an exceptional player. This isn't a question that goes beyond the players. It concerns the management. I hope he can be part of the group and help us this season. And just a few moments later, this came out yet again from Fabrice Hawkins. Justin, Nasser Khalifa and Doha did not appreciate Marquinhos' words on Mbappe's situation, and they've made it known. The players are torn between the desire to support the Frenchman and the club's position. A bit after from Sports Zone, Flash area. Paris are also considering selling Marquinhos. Present during the Japanese tour, the captain is in the eye of the storm, and his last outing on Kylian Mbappé at a press conference was not appreciated. Paris keeps him in the workforce to enhance him, but if a club offers an offer deemed up to par, Paris will not intervene. The club wants to turn a page and break with the traumas of the past. And lastly, from Rudy Galetti, Marquinhos has agreed to start talks with Al-Nassr. A first offer has been sent to Brazilian international as well as to PSG. And my thoughts about this is, listen, Marquinhos hasn't been the same for 2 years, and what's the point in us giving him more time, more money, more energy, all of that, just for him to be mid? One disturbing thing is that we recently extended Marquinhos until 2028, I believe, which is very weird that we're trying to, or at least being okay with selling him at the moment. And I'm looking at the price. What are Paris Saint-Germain considering for Marquinhos? Maybe around the 60 to 80 million mark. And we have seen how Saudi clubs have been spending. They should be able to put an amount close to that region. And Marquinhos, as I said, he's done a lot of stuff for this club, a lot of great stuff, some bad stuff here and there, but I will always, think about the positive stuff that Marquinhos did for this club, and that he cared for the club. He tried to do his absolute best, and at some points he really couldn't do that. And that's why now I'm going to switch on to replacements for Marquinhos if he possibly leaves to Al-Nassr for a fee of 50 to 80 million euros. Obviously, as we know, we have Milan Skriniar, Danilo Pereira, and Lucas Hernandez, our center-backs, with potentially Marquinhos leaving and Bicciabo already leaving to RB Leipzig. And here's the first name. It's Antonio Silva, 19 years of age, contract expiring 2027 with a 45 million market value according to Transfermarkt. And here are his stats: his passes attempted, progressive passes, progressive carries, duels won, tackles, interceptions, clearances, aerials won, and blocks. And he's a centre-back with one of the most highest potential in the world alongside William Saliba, and he would cost maybe 80 million because he has a 100 million release clause at SL Benfica as we're speaking at the moment, but Paris Saint-Germain may be able to drop that down to 80 million. Plus, one big thing is his agent, who is Jorge Mendes, who has helped us getting the players like Asensio, Manuel Ugarte, and Kang In Lee so far this transfer window. So he would be obviously wanting to help us get Antonio Silva this summer transfer window. Next up, it's Gonzalo Inacio, 21-year-old, so a bit more experience. Contract expiring in 2026 with a market value of 30 million euros. And here is his pass attempt to progressive passes, progressive carries, duels won, tackles, interception, clearances, areas won, blocks. And he would cost around the 60 million mark. As we're speaking at the moment, he has a 40 million release clause, but Sporting want to extend him to a 60 million release clause. So if we're not fast enough, it will go up to 60. And I believe the Marquinhos sale will take a bit of time. So we will potentially have that 60 million release clause when we try to sign him. But one lucky thing is that both Cherendor and Nuno Mendes have the same agency group, which yet again will help us. And the last one is Giorgio Scalvini from Atalanta, 19 years of age, contract expiring in 2027 with a 40 million market value. And here are his passes attempted, progressive passes, progressive carries, duels won, tackles, interception, clearances, areas won, and blocks. And he will cost around the 40 to 50 million mark. I've been reading on Twitter. He has a price tag of around 40 million euros, and maybe Atalanta will ask for 50 million. And one good thing yet again with Scalvini is we have already negotiated with Atalanta for Højlund, so the contact between the two clubs is there if you want to go for Scalvini. And here are them, all of them compared to each other. Looking at their stats, you can see the Scalvini defensive actions, absolutely best, nowhere close to Inacio and Antonio Silva here. When it comes to forward passes and progressive passes, that's Inacio. Even Antonio Silva has some forward passes. He also has carrying. As you can see, Inacio's biggest strength is with the ball at his feet, while Scalvini, his biggest strength is when the opposition has the ball. And Antonio Silva is a bit similar to Inacio at the moment here. And here are their stats: their passes, attempts, progressive passes, progressive carries, and so on. And I also compared them to Marquinhos. And as you can see, if they're first in the stats category, they're in green. You can see Inacio has a lot of green, and that's because he's 2 years older than both Scalvini and Antonio Silva, more experienced as well. The only flaw with Gonçalo Inacio is that he's also a left-sided centre-back like Lucas Hernandez we signed, whilst both Antonio Silva and Scalvini are right-footed centre-backs, so maybe we should go for one of them to replace Marquinhos, who is also right-footed centre-back. And here are my options. My number 3 options is Antonio Silva. He has so much potential, but with the price tag being so high and he's not that experienced, I would look furthermore. Scalvini, number 2, price tag is okay. He is as young as Antonio Silva, plays in a top 5 league, in a better league, in Atalanta. He's my number 2 option. And my number 1 option is obviously Inacio. Good price, experienced, great player. And all of these 3 are great players, and all of these 3 I would welcome to Paris Saint-Germain, and I would love having them here. But to end this video, Marquinhos, if Al-Nassr make a good bid, PSG will accept it. Hopefully they make a good bid so we can get rid of him and we can sign one of the new most promising young talents. Because if you look, we have a young right back, young left back, young goalkeeper, young midfielders. We're trying to sign young attackers, including Kang In Lee. Now we only need some young center backs. Get me one of these with one of the highest potentials in world football. Antonio Silva, Giorgio Scalvini, or Gonçalo Inacio. Let me know in the comments down below. If you had to choose one of these center backs, who would you choose and why? That has been it. Let me know if you want to sell Marquinhos, yes or no. That has been it. Allez, bye.